I told you I do every single video request. By video request, today's topic is how do you cope with reality? Is it better to accept and embrace the matrix, or is it better to part yourself from it? The world is corrupt, immoral, and unjust. Should we waste our time trying to fix the system, or should we simply not bother with all the stress? I think we are slowly making moral progression, and if you want to spend your time trying to help humanity, I think the key is figuring out how to get the most bang for your buck. Remember the fact that assholes have a disproportionate advantage over good people. It's a lot easier to fuck things up and make things worse than it is to actually make any kind of noticeable improvement. So I would say the first piece of advice I would have if you want to change the world is spend your time combating evil rather than trying to do good. Now, of course, I'm not saying you shouldn't try to help people. I'm just saying to look at this as a matter of priorities. If you have 20 people trying to feed a bunch of starving people and you have one asshole putting poison in all the food they're giving, well, stopping the asshole is going to be a lot more efficient than joining in and being the 21st person trying to hand out food. Right now, the Western world is stuck in a vicious cycle. We keep electing dumb, immoral, corrupt politicians back into power again and again because the people have no sense of priority and intelligence themselves. But the reason why people have no sense of priorities and intelligence is because they're educated by the government. So it's kind of a vicious cycle, and I'm not sure how to break that. If you got one good leader in power, they could change the education, or you can do the opposite approach, which is to try to educate people outside of schools and hope that over time they become more moral, just, and wise and can naturally prioritize and appoint rational, moral leaders. I feel this approach is actually a lot less effective and efficient than simply removing assholes from power, but you have to just ask yourself realistically, what do you have to work with? Now, if you're trying to swim up a waterfall by yourself, it's a very sad, depressing, and lonely life. But there's some good news for you, and that's if you are genuine about truth-seeking, and you are genuine about caring about other people and fixing the world, you have an ability that 99.9% of other people don't. And this is the ability to form profoundly deep relationships. And the amount of meaning you're going to get from these profoundly deep relationships, you know, if you ever find love in your life, I think it's going to easily outweigh all the superficial experiences that normal people would have in their entire life. If you like this video, subscribe, check out my other videos, and if you have a video request of your own, I do every video request ever. This was a video request.